Hi, welcome to Enjoying Marital Bliss. I am Judy Daniel Imagoro. I'm a pastor and a relationship coach. Today I'm going to be sharing with you on how you can protect your relationship from external hurt. And this topic I'm going to be sharing from my new book, Turning Marital Crisis into Bliss. And I gave a whole chapter to this topic. So I want to encourage you before I go into the topic. I want to encourage you, if you're a single person watching this broadcast and your desire is to have a blissful marriage, purchase this book and read it. And if you're a married person and you desire to have peace in your home, please purchase this book and read it. It will bless your world. There's a lot of topic on this book: 7 laws of marriage, the purpose of marriage, be discreet with information, understanding your spouse. So much on this book that will bless you and turn your marriage around. And guess what? I have a deal for you today. So if you're watching this broadcast, all you need to do is to send an email to me at pastor@judithimagoro.org, at pastor@judithimagoro.org. And please send this discount code 202011, and you'll be able to get the e-copy of this book for just $5 if you live in US, you live in Canada, and you live in UK. And if you live in anywhere in Africa, you can get the e-copy for 2,500 Naira by sending a message to me on pastor@judithimagoro.org. And I tell you, it will bless you. So let's go back to our topic on how you can protect your relationship from external hurt. The first thing that I want you to know is that you are the one that is married to your spouse. Not your mother, not your sisters, not anyone else. They are married to you. So you owe them the duty to protect them from external heat, unnecessary external heat. There are a lot of couples that should have been married today, but they are divorced because they did not set boundary. So if you want to protect your marriage from external heat, please set boundaries. Everyone should know their limits when it comes to your spouse. You should never allow anyone to dump anything on your spouse. Create boundaries in your marriage. When a lot of people want to refer to the fall of man, they will point fingers to Eve brought the fall. We understand that. But my answer, and I'm telling you today, and that's because Adam did not create boundary. Anytime you refuse to create boundary in your family, anyone can dump anything on your spouse. So because Adam did not create boundary, serpent had unlimited access to Eve. The Bible made us to understand that God gave Adam authority over everything he created. So all Adam was supposed to do was to create boundaries because he had the authority, but he didn't. And because of that access that serpent had to Eve, that's the reason Satan could penetrate. That's exactly what happened in most marriages today. When you refuse to create a boundary, then the enemy is able to penetrate from external forces, from in-laws, from whoever, because you refuse to create that boundaries. So I want to encourage you today. You don't need the unnecessary pressure that comes from family. If anyone have issues with your husband, with your wife, and they are from your family, let them talk to you about it. Don't give anyone access to dump anything on your spouse. No, create boundary. It is very important to your family. Number 2, keep your mouth shut. Be discreet with information. It is very important. Why? You can never succeed in sharing your spouse's weaknesses with your family member and keep your dignity intact. I want you to note, when your spouse decided to marry you, they gave you access to their word. It's a privilege they gave you to know their weaknesses and to know their strengths. It is very unfair for you to know their weaknesses and you go out to begin to speak and begin to talk about it to your friends and your family. because that's the privilege they gave you. So learn to keep your mouth shut. I could remember vividly a lady was sharing with me the incident that happened between her son and her sister. Now she was used to telling her sister that her husband was cheating on her. And sometimes she will exaggerate and say he will sleep with anything on skirts. So the sister had that impression on her husband. Then one day her own son went to her sister's house to play with the sister's daughter. And the sister was not giving instruction to the maid to watch over the son, because he might just have the same uncontrollable attitude towards women, just like his father. And the son overheard that. And now she was telling me, look at what my husband has subjected my family to. I said, no, your husband didn't do that. Your loud mouth did that, not your husband. Because when your husband, if you claim your husband is cheating, when he cheated on you, your sister was not there. It was you that opened your mouth and began to spill out everything that your husband did. And now your sister is using that to refer to your son. So you are the one that brought humiliation to your family by not keeping things to yourself. There's a lot of ways you can deal with issues in your family without telling everyone that cares to listen about what your husband did or what your wife did. This is your family. Keep it. If you are going through crisis in your home and you think you can manage it on your own, look for a counselor, a coach that can counsel you out of the challenges you're going through. Let me say this to you. Sometimes family and friends are the worst people you can tell your challenges to when your marriage is going through crisis. And why is that? It's not because they hate you. Instead of them to help you out of the situation, they will help you end your marriage. Why? Because they will side their own. Everyone tends to side their own. You are theirs, they love you, and they will take side with you. It is very rare that you go to tell your family about what your spouse did to you and they will take side with your spouse. No, they will take side with you. And they will help you point out things that you did not even notice. So it is not necessary that you tell everybody what your spouse is doing. Look for counselor. And I want to tell you, if you're a believer around the world, your marriage is different from anyone else. You have a third person in your marriage, and that person is the person of the Holy Spirit that is always willing to listen and is able to help you out of your situation. Tell him. He is that person that will not judge your spouse, that will not refuse to forgive them even after you have let go, and that will not begin to say things about them. So talk to him about it. I want you to know prayers works, especially in all areas, especially in the area of your marriage. Prayer works because God is interested in family. If you will bring your marriage to him and pray, God will help you with your spouse, because there are just some of the things that your spouse is doing that they don't enjoy doing it, but they just find themselves doing it. And in those cases, you need God. There is no amount of gossip or things you will say to another person that can help you. You need God. Just talk to God that created them to help them out of the things that they are doing that you do not like. And that way you keep the integrity of your family and you keep your family intact. You don't have to tell everyone what is going on in your home. And I want you to know you cannot succeed in telling of your spouse's weakness and keep your own integrity intact. Most of the cases when the people you spoke to want to tell another person, because most of the cases they do, you think that they don't because you're not privileged to hear from the person they are talking to. So when you share with one person, he might share with another. And when they are sharing with the other person, because the person they are sharing with might not know your spouse, your name comes in. And in the whole of the conversation, you will be surprised your spouse's name will not be mentioned once. So for instance, somebody can say Esther's husband is used to beating her. Esther's this is used to doing that. John's wife is used to doing this. And in the end, your spouse's name was not mentioned, but yours was. Why? Because you refuse to keep quiet. You're not the only one that is going through challenges. People go through challenges. You are seeing their marriage as perfect because they learned how to keep things to themselves. While you're busy talking to everyone that cares to listen about your own marriage, I want to encourage you, save your family by keeping your mouth shut. Talk to the right person instead of speaking to your circle that most of the cases they cannot help you. And that way, you will keep your marriage, you will keep the integrity of that home intact, and you will preserve your home. Thank you so much for listening to this broadcast. And I want to encourage you, partner with me by sending this message to your friends and your family. I know as they listen to this message, it will bless them. And I want to also encourage you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Judith Imagoro Ministries. And if you like this broadcast, please give it a thumb up and share with your friends. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.